Well, guys, I just did a day trip to Dubai and Oman. We have a project in Oman, projects in Dubai, just checking in on them, the day job. Literally, I'm on the ground for 18 hours, and I think I did 30-something hours of flying. But if you're going to fly that much, this is a great way to do it. I'm in first class on Emirates, and this is sick. These beds lie down, go fully flat, the doors closed. You're in your entire enclosed cubbies. Pretty spectacular. Great food. More legroom than I can know what to do with. And like I said, the beds fly out flat, and they even have mattresses to go on top of them. So if you're going to do 18 hours on the ground, a day trip to the Middle East, this is the way to do it. Figured I had to share that one with you guys because I'm a reasonably spoiled individual, and this is still pretty spectacular. Have a good one, guys.
Trump Org has just announced its latest project, a new Trump Tower in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. As if we hadn't learned this lesson time and time again, the people of the Arab nations don't typically like Americans with all of their Americanisms in their countries. Unfortunately, the people of those nations are not the ones making these large-scale business decisions.
Saudi Arabia, and I get along great with all of them. They buy apartments from me, they spend 40 million, 50 million. Am I supposed to dislike them? I like them very much.
In partnering with a Saudi developer and being chummy with the Saudi Crown Prince, the Jeddah Trump Tower is moving forward. This is Trump Org's first development in Saudi, and it comes just a few years after the Saudi government gave Jared Kushner $2 billion. For what? No one really knows.
I have a motion. I would move pursuant to Clause 2K6 of Rule 11 that the committee issue a subpoena to Jared Kushner to compel testimony related to the $2 billion collected from Saudi Arabia after his service within the White House.
Second.
There's a motion, and for what purpose does the gentleman from Ohio seek recognition?
Move to table the motion.
There's the motion the motion to table is not debatable. As many as are in favor of tabling signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed signify by saying no.
No.
In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it.
In a statement, Eric Trump said this: "We are thrilled to expand our footprint in the Middle East and bring the Trump standard of luxury to the region through our long-standing relationship with Dar Global. This collaboration embodies our shared vision of creating landmark developments that exude luxury, quality, and sophistication." Dar Global also announced a $500 million licensing deal for a Trump International Hotel complex in Oman. All right, so why does this matter? Business is business, isn't it? Well, with recent Supreme Court rulings, it seems that Trump can do whatever he wants, whenever and wherever he wants, but in more sane times, this could be seen as a potential conflict of interest. We already know that while Trump was president, he refused to divest his assets, barely skirting legal obligations by handing over control and ownership of his business empire to his sons. Then, just 6 months after he wasn't president anymore, his son-in-law gets his $2 billion gift from the Saudis. At the time, the investment seemed like some kind of quid pro quo, either for favors Trump already did for Saudi while he was president, or for future favors that Trump might do if he wins in 2024. And this calls to mind the assassination of US-based journalist Jamal Khashoggi, a killing that was allegedly ordered and executed by what's been referred to as a Saudi death squad, and Trump, who was president at the time, didn't do a single thing about it.
Will Jamal Khashoggi's case affect the way you deal with MBS or other Saudi?
We have to see what happens. A lot of work's being done on that, and we're going to have to see what happens. I don't like stopping massive amounts of money that's being poured into our country. I know they're talking about different kinds of sanctions, but they're spending $110 billion on military equipment and on things that create jobs, like jobs and others for this country.
Usually that would have been a huge deal. I mean, it was a huge deal. Khashoggi wasn't just killed, his body was dismembered. And the fact that Trump did nothing about it raised a lot of red flags at the time regarding whether or not Trump was personally beholden in some way to the Saudis. And I'm not entirely sure this next bit is relevant, and I don't want to step too far into conspiratorial territory, but Jamal Khashoggi wasn't just any journalist. Through his family, he had direct ties to the Saudi royal family, but he attempted to sever those ties, even choosing to live in self-imposed exile in the United States. He was also the nephew of Adnan Khashoggi. He was also the first cousin of Dodi Fayed, the guy who died in the car crash with Princess Diana in '97, but that part really is irrelevant in the sense that, everything is sort of connected. But his uncle, Adnan Khashoggi, who is now also deceased, was a notorious arms dealer who had ties to none other than Jeffrey Epstein. Adnan was called one of the greatest whoremongers of the world by Vanity Fair magazine all the way back in 1989. And moving up to present day, Epstein had claimed to a New York Times reporter that the Saudi crown prince had visited him many times and that they spoke very often. In his heyday, Khashoggi has been credited with brokering billions of dollars in arms sales between U.S. defense contractors and the Saudi military, setting up what is still today's arms for oil trade understanding between the two nations. I don't know how all that's related, but do with that what you will. Anyway, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman says that he will maintain his $2 billion investment with Kushner's hedge fund, Affinity Partners, if and when Trump becomes president again, an investment that is still shrouded in a lot of mystery. As of last month, Democratic Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon has launched an investigation into Kushner's business dealings in the Middle East, including the $2 billion from MBS, citing, quote, significant conflicts of interest and potential counterintelligence risks. He went on to say, these arrangements also raise concerns that Affinity's exclusively foreign-funded private investment funds are being exploited as a loophole by Mr. Kushner and other former U.S. government officials as a means to avoid complying with the Foreign Agents Registration Act and other U.S. laws requiring U.S. persons to disclose payments from foreign governments. Now, I know we covered a lot of ground here, and I know we took some interesting turns, but as I said, do what you will with all of it. There are so many details that I couldn't include in this short video, but I know, for example, most of you already know a lot of the details surrounding Jamal Khashoggi's death. Going forward, I don't know what this will mean for Trump's potential second term in office, but I do think it sheds an uncomfortable light on the fact that world governments are simply extensions of existing business industries. Trump became president because, for one, it helped build his public profile and influence around the world. He already had access to global business leaders, but now he had unfettered access to global governments. The two worlds are so inextricable, operating on such a large scale that it somehow makes the world feel very, very small. And in the meantime, the rest of us are begging for things like healthcare and a clean water supply. All right, that's it for me. If you got anything out of this, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.